What is going on, fam? It is CJ, and I know I'm a little late for this review. Normally I get them out like Saturday night, but last night was just completely crazy. We had storms here in the South, and so we were under like the constant tornado watch. So this video is a little late, and I do thank y'all for understanding. And also, let me do a disclaimer. Please pardon any of the background noise that you hear. Like I said, normally I do these videos at night, but when it's a little calm in the house, but it's daytime, so there are people moving around. So y'all gonna hear all kinds of ringing and splashing or whatever else goes on. But anyway, how y'all doing, fam? It's CJ, and we are here. See that sound? See, we are here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Also, as always, make sure that you thumbs up this video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Welcome, and share. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend so we can all be friends. Well, we're more like family, but anyway. This was season 2, episode 19, and they called this episode Black in Business. And this episode brought us, let's see, it served up some disrespect, served up some divorce proceedings, and it also served up some delays and just all kinds of D's, a little destiny, like everything. But anyway, now that we got all that out of the way, it started with Melody. Melody is doing what appears to be a photo shoot. And it's African themed. It's really cute. They're wearing these nice and vibrant colors. She and the kids. This kind of represents her and her new start, being a single mom at this point. And she wants some new photos up in the house that don't have Martell in them, because she's done with Martell and now she is focused on her journey with just she and the kids. So Destiny comes to visit, and she brought baby LeBerick, and we still have not seen LeBerick since they have come back for season 2. So I don't know where LeBerick is. From what I understand, LeBerick doesn't want to be on the show. I'm also hearing that he and Destiny are like beefing and they're not really together anymore. I mean, I'm just hearing like a bunch of rumors, but until Destiny or LeBerick addresses what's happening, we will just say that he just chooses not to be on camera, as he has the right to. But anyway, when Destiny shows up, you know, they're happy to see each other. And Mel tells Destiny that she had to kind of check Martell, you know, the last time she saw him. And she used that term too lightly, because if slightly checked him means almost knocking his head off with a glass and tearing up, you know, Mr. Chris and Miss Nell's furniture, then I would really, really hate to see what happened if things really went down. But anyway, they get together and they kind of talk, and Destiny is kind of telling her that, you know, Martell is saying that he wants his family back, he wants his wife back, but he's not behaving. So, you know, that's not the way to do it. You know, you don't go wielding insults to your wife, telling her what she did wrong. And she's just kind of agreeing with Mel. And Mel refers to Martell and Arion's baby as a consequence that he can't hide. I guess, you know, he was able to kind of keep the affair on the low for years. And so much so, we didn't really know about it until the storyline was introduced to us by Mel. I guess they had kind of kept it that quiet. People around Huntsville, I'm sure, knew about it, but we didn't know on TV until Mel brought it to our attention. And she just said she's happy to leave all the BS behind. So she is done with Martell, and she just really wants, you know, everything to just be amicable, and she just wants them to divorce and be done. But we then see Martell, and you know, he says that to keep from falling into this sunken place, he goes to see Dr. Francis. And we all remember Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis was the therapist that he and Mel went to speak to when they were doing their counseling. And now he's going to see him to kind of get some individual counseling on his own. But we know that Martell doesn't really like to take fault or accept responsibility for his role in things that happen. He is very, very good at playing the blame game, or he feels like, his actions were reactions to other actions, so to speak, if that makes any sense. But anyway, he begins to open up with Dr. Francis, and he talks about how the both of them weren't fulfilling to one another, and it can never just be about Martell. Martell always has to drag someone else in, and I think that he can do a lot of healing and a lot of growing if he just really focuses on himself and why he does the things he does, or why he says the things that he says, and not always focus on, well, you weren't doing this, or you did this, so I did this. And I think he just has some internalizing to kind of, of himself to kind of figure out to make it make sense. But anyway, he just says that Mel lacked giving him affection, compliments, sex, and etc. And he's been saying that, for a while now, and he is standing on that. And so he says because of those things, he stepped out. Now, the doctor wants to know, well, why did she begin to withhold those things? There had to be a reason. If she was giving them to you at one point and then she stopped, what's up with that? Why did she do it? But I guess, they would have to talk to Mel about that. And we know that's not going to happen because Mel is done with this and it doesn't even matter at this point. But anyway, they started referring to Ariane as oranges, or I guess what she was doing as oranges, because and Martell admitted that he began to love these oranges. So I guess what started out for him as, oh, I'm getting this and this and this from this woman over here, I guess over time feelings developed and he began to fall in love with her. And so they kind of had this relationship, and then he also had his marriage over here. But he just says he got caught up in being loyal to two women. I don't really understand how you can be loyal to two women, but I suppose in Martell's mind, that he was, I can't even explain it, y'all. I don't know. But if y'all can explain it, try to explain it to me in the comments, because I can't. I don't understand. Loyalty to me is between two people, not one person being loyal to two people when it comes to the, I guess, confines of a relationship. And the therapist, asks, what would you do if she got preggers? He just wanted to know, there are consequences to actions. And Martell, he dances around the question, and he gives him that same mumbo jumbo that he gave, I believe it was like Maurice and Sadaric when they were camping. Well, normally when two people sleep together, somebody can get pregnant. And he gave him that same deal. And Dr. Francis was like, I'm not trying to hear all that. Let me know what's up. You need to be real. You are here for help. We're not trying to hear all that. And so he does admit to him, he makes him answer the question. And he does admit, well, she is pregnant. And at this point, Dr. Francis is like, well, dog, ooh. And this was kind of confusing to me, this next part, because of course, he doesn't want Martell to feel bad about this child that he and Ariane are bringing into this world. It happened, and the child doesn't need to feel like, it's a consequence, but he doesn't make him, be accountable for it. True enough, that did happen, but you did this while you were married to this woman. And with that being done, this has a lot to do with why y'all are no longer together. But he just kind of skated over that. And I don't know if it had anything to do with editing or what, but he didn't really make him, accountable for his actions. So that was kind of a moment. But next, we then see Martell. He's on his way to Black. This is the soft opening for Black, as we've been waiting for, the cigar lounge that Letitia and Marceau are opening. And while he's driving, he calls Ariana. He checks on her. How you doing? How you feeling? She's like, I'm fine. Just a little tired because, she's with child, of course. And they get into this discussion. He tells her that he went to see his therapist. And so she was just like, well, did you call me another peasant? Like you did the last time you saw him. And we all remember that was when the whole peasant term, blew up, because he referred to her as that and then kept sleeping with her. But anyway, she wanted to know about that. And he says no and all this other stuff. And so he tells her, he starts asking these questions, which leads her to ask him, well, what are you trying to say? Do you want a DNA test or something? And so he's like, well, yeah, since you brought it up, yeah. And instead of just being direct, and I'm sure he knows that that's his child, but he's just got to play this role and make it seem like she could have been seeing someone else. I mean, she could have. She doesn't live in the same area as he does, but he knows that she been sleeping with him, and probably, and obviously raw, because she's pregnant now. And it was weird how he came at her, but she wasn't as upset about that as she probably should have been. But she just stroked his ego some more and was like, yeah, you are good to me and blah, blah, blah. And so she just turned what probably should have been an ugly situation. I guess she just softened and made it all right. And so he got off the phone with her, and he goes to he's at the lounge by now. And he comes in and he apologizes to Letitia for how he acted towards her mom. We remember he ran up on her a couple episodes ago about what she said to his kids. And he's like winning Letitia over. Like, she is just so impressed with the 2021 Martell. And Marceau's just like, okay, that's cool and all, but those are just words. He needs to show us that he is all right, that he's cool, that he is changed, The only apology we want, or that we need to see, is changed behavior. But Letitia, that was all she needed. She was like, oh, I love Martell, blah, 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 blah. She didn't say I love Martell, but that was, how she was acting. But we see next, Mr. Chris and Miss Nell shows up, and they're kind of laughing at how Martell showed his butt at their house, got Melody tearing up their furniture, throwing drinks at them. Just, we all remember the whole hoopla that happened. Anyway, he says he was just telling the truth. And all of a sudden, Tisha's just like, she's on his side. She's like, well, y'all can't get mad at him, for telling the truth. And all of a sudden, she's still, I think, in her feelings, just a tinge about what she and Mel went through at the day retreat. So now all of a sudden she seems to be Team Martell during this scene. And Marceau's just like, you don't get it. Because he knows Martell. And he knows how Martell is. And he's just like, and Letitia's just eating it up. And Marceau's like, I'm not buying this bull. And she can. And they just agree to disagree, because he's just like, whatever. You over here buying this bull. But anyway, we see Kimmy and Maurice. They're on their way. And they're just kind of excited because they get to see Jalen in his new role. Kimmy's glad because now Maurice can shut up about Jalen and what he wants to do with his future and XYZ. So she's just glad she don't got to hear about that right now. And they're just excited to go and see how he does as the manager of the Black Cigar Lounge. Now, Melody and her brother arrive, and she's just glad that Maurice is there with her for support again, because she knows Martell's gonna be there, and she is a little uneasy about seeing him because their last encounter was rather explosive. Now, the event seems to be going very well. People are laughing, people are talking, they're drinking, they're smoking their cigars. Everything just really seems to be a good time. And Tisha, she pulls Mel to the side because she did talk to Marceau, and she feels like she needs to apologize. And she does apologize because she did not receive what Melody had to say, because she was still harping on the past, and she wants to leave the past in the past, and she wants to move forward with whatever that may be. And Melody is just kind of like, okay. She gives her that classic, okay, that Melody does, because she's been there, done that with Letitia. We've seen it time and time and time again. And she just doesn't believe that Letitia is really ready to move forward. And she just says, we'll see whatever comes of this. But she's just not expecting it to be what it's supposed to be. Now, it's 4:45 and Jalen is like, okay, y'all, we got to move out to the patio because we got, this big reveal and XYZ. And I'm sorry, y'all, something is in my eyeball. I think an eyelash fell in it, but anyway, I'm sorry about that. But we see it's this giant picture, and it's a really nice black and white picture with Uptown something on it, which was the brunch spot that the Scotts are opening. And they have the picture of, like, I think it's like 4 of the Scotts boys, the younger generation. Monster, we got Marceau's sons, and I think the sister's sons or whatever. Like, they're all there, and they're all around the same age. And they're wanting this to be like a generational wealth kind of deal. They want to be able to pass along businesses to their children, and they pass them on to their children, so on and so forth, which was a really nice concept. And Destiny noticed that, okay, there are all boys in this picture, but they got girls too. Where are the girls? And Melody has to remind her, well, Marceau and them, they're kind of sexist over there. So they think that the men run things. And so she was just like, well, I get all that, but I just think it's just crazy because they're not the only generation. They're not the next generation. It's not just them. They got sisters and everything too. But we know we can't. Rome wasn't built in a day. Anyway, so Marcus wants to speak to Martell. All those M's, y'all. He wants to speak to Martell and pulls him to the side. And he just basically wants to address the comment that Martell made to the kids about Maurice liking boys, and wants to know if that's going to be a problem. Are you saying you don't want me around the children because I'm in a same-sex marriage, or what the deal is? And so Martell just tells him that that's not what I'm saying. However, I do want them to know that the foundation that I expect of them is man and woman, not man and man, not woman and woman. And Maurice is like, I get all that, but I don't want them thinking that because I'm with a man that I'm a bad person, because I'm a preacher, 25 years teaching, retired, blah, blah, blah. He just says that, this is the lifestyle that he and his husband have chose, and he doesn't want to be condemned, for that. And they kind of go back and forth, and I guess I don't know what came of it, but all I know, Martell was just like, I just want them to know that I think that it's wrong for a man to be with a man, and I expect them to be with the opposite sex. So that was pretty much what happened with them. And they just established, that. And then Marcus clarifies that comment. Y'all remember at the Halloween, the costume deal, when he told Martell, they told Troy, will you be our daddy and all this other stuff. He said that wasn't coming from a place of malice. It was coming from a place as more of a wake-up call, because him and Mel, their behaviors are affecting these children, and it's making them not want to be with them. They would rather be somewhere else. That's what he was trying to say. And well, that's what he says he was trying to say. I don't know if that's true or not, but that was the reason that he gave. And Melody kind of comes up to check on things because she could tell, I guess, things might have been getting a little heated. And Marcus uses that opportunity to kind of slip out, which causes Melody and Martell to have to talk. Now, you know, Melody, they start out as always. They get their peaceful enough. They are talking, and Martell is kind of spilling his heart out. One minute he's telling her that he wants, he loves the hell out of her and he wants their family to be together. He never thought that it would come to this. He never in a million years would have thought that things would be the way they are now, and he just wishes that things were different. And it just kind of sounds like he was telling her that he wants her to come back. Now, we know she has emotionally checked out at this point. She was just like, okay, I hear all that, but why are you just now saying that? You could have said that a while ago. And also, when you took the time or the opportunity to impregnate who I consider to be an enemy, it was lights out for anything regarding you and I. We were done at that point. And speaking of being done, what's the deal with this divorce? And he starts saying that he wants, well, I just wanted to be with you for the kids. I already told you that. And so she was like, okay, well, that's fine and good, but let's talk about this divorce. What's the deal? Because my lawyer tells me that you don't even have an attorney anymore, and I'm trying to get this done. What are you doing? I mean, is he just trying to stop it? Why would you get rid of your attorney, or why would your attorney get rid of you? However, you need to get this show on the road because I'm done. I'm ready to sign them papers, in the words of Usher. So she was just, telling him. So they started going back and forth. The exchange gets very, very heated. They're going. She was like, sign the papers, Martell. Sign the papers, Martell. And Martell he's calling her hoes. Like, I mean, this stuff is just crazy. He's calling her a hoe, yet in the breath before that, you were saying you wanted your family back. And he says the only reason he wanted to get back with her was for the kids. He said that. But I mean, it's just crazy. And so he gets up and walks away. And the girls come, Kimmy, Destiny, Letitia, like they all come and they really rally around her because she's upset. She's crying. This stuff just, is too much. And so she reveals, and I'm like, this is crazy. She reveals to Letitia that he is having a baby, and she's like, so he really is having a baby? Now, good and doggone well, you and Marcel done talked about this already, and y'all know that he's having a baby. But anyway, it seems to kind of change her mind a little bit, and she says in her confessional, yes, we are going through, all kinds of crap together, but she's my sister, and in this moment, she needs us to be there for her. We need to rally around her and let her know that everything is going to be okay. These are the moments that really matter. And Mel was appreciative of the ladies. They're talking to her. They're trying to make her feel better. And they're letting her know that, yes, we are here for you. We know that this situation is not what you intended it to be, but we are here for you. And that is pretty much where the episode left off. I covered a lot in this episode, but if I forgot anything, we can always talk about it in the comments below. If you have any thoughts on Mr. Martell and Melody's situation, you can always drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about it respectfully and peacefully. But with that being said, I am out of here, y'all. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll be back for another video. What? I don't know. But anyway, y'all have a great rest of the day, and I will see y'all later on. Peace.